Right. So this is my, I guess, main Riverside tutorial. I just want to make something that's completely comprehensive for anyone who is a videographer, especially for video production companies that already have multiple employees. This is a perfect type of thing that you can just like give off to like an intern or a different employee because the vast majority, or pretty much all, video production companies do in-person videography, which makes sense. But my whole thing is that why do that when you can use Riverside, which is pretty much like Zoom but higher quality. And if you know how to do the lighting right, or like coach people through lighting, if you know how to use Riverside's like editing features, you can end up like using remote videography, as I call it, as a very affordable downsell. So the idea really isn't to completely change your business. It's more so to like, I don't know. It's more so to stop people from like. It's more so from. It's more so an I. It's more so a way to. It's more so a way to. It's more so. It's more so a way to. It's more so a way to turn less people away, because if they can't afford your services but they still want video, I mean, and it's hard to do with traditional video. And the other idea is that, and then on top of that, if you can get them in the door, then the next step is like more videos, maybe in-person videos. So, and that's because you've established a relationship. And so the whole point of this video is more so to go through and explain how to work Riverside. And keep in mind, this is for someone who already knows how to do videos, already knows how to edit, but they want to add this to their repertoire. So if you're learning to learn, like to do, so if you're just learning to do that, then this course really isn't for you. But if you're trying to add this as a downsell and you're already a successful company, then definitely do this. Especially if you're trying to expand like your reach, for sure. So just going over Riverside in general, um, you can see I made my pointer thing comically large. Um, the main thing that I love, one of the main things I love about Riverside is that they let you create as many projects as you need. And so I have all these different clients. Actually, they started as different clients, but now I just made them kind of different categories of what I shoot. Um, MBV1, because I have my business is called Malcolm Brown Videos. So I have a couple different studios just like for that because I did that because if someone joins your studio, um, and I just did that just because certain times I had recordings back to back, and so it didn't really make sense to do it to the same studio because the second person might come in like early, and maybe they fixed that by now. I have no idea. But they let you create as many studios as you want. I'm pretty sure. So I really love that. And so looking in MBV1, for example, this is where I record like my content for clients. And I guess myself. Goodness gracious, eesh, I was looking the best there. But essentially, it's organized into projects, which is more so just like recordings. And just to explain what makes Riverside so great, it has this magic episode thing where it kind of automatically edits the episode for you. That's not really what I do most of the time. Because people always say like, "Yo, AI is making it so video editing is like a breeze now." Yeah, but you still need to be able to know how to edit, and you can't just put it in, have no idea how to edit, and just like it'll spit out exactly what you need. And that's why like this course is for people who already know how to edit, already know how to do video companies. And so, for example, this recording was 14 minutes long. If I want to, I can just download it and put it straight into Premiere. It allows me to do raw audio, Magic Audio. Their Magic Audio is really good. I didn't even know that they did this. Yeah, I guess compressed is yeah, smaller. Okay. The Magic Audio is the one of the best things I think they have. Especially because the subscription is only like $25 a month or something, so it's a really good deal, and it's on the same level as like the thing in Premiere. Probably better. I don't know. I don't know. But it allows you to record or it allows you to download the raw video. It's just like straight up. A line video is like if you have multiple people in a recording, which I usually don't do. But if you have multiple people, if they join like at different times in the call, that's what that's for. And then the cloud, there's always going to be a cloud version that they're recording like over the internet. But what Riverside actually uses is the actual footage from your like from the person's camera. And they explain why that's better. Essentially, it's just like you're not relying on the internet for quality; you're relying on the actual camera. The only thing about that though is that if the person like clicks off certain times, especially if they're using their phone, then they will like what is it? Like it won't fully upload. And certain times, there's been problems where it just didn't upload at all. It hasn't happened. It's happened less and less, but that can be very very frustrating. And the first thing I want to show you is that when you edit, this is really the best thing. Okay, this is a 14-minute version. The first thing I always do, I mean, they made this Procreator thing to kind of make an AI thing, like so you can just tell it what to do. I've never really used that though. The first thing I always do is remove the pauses, and they have different settings. So it could be this is so more so just like the larger gaps. You can see like you can see it down here. Like when I went from here to here, you see more cuts. This is even more intense, and you see more gaps. And then this is like I pretty much always do this one because you can see 106 pauses compared to 45 pauses. Like it's a huge difference. I guess it's only 30 seconds difference, but still, it's a lot of time. So I do that, and then I do the remove filler words because it's really really good at that as well. I just use Smart every time. I haven't explored the other ones, but that seems interesting. And then Find Fluff is honestly my favorite because it'll read through what the person's saying, and most of the time I just hit apply because it usually knows. This is a lot more useful actually when you're recording yourself because if you have bad takes, this is like the best thing you can do. And so if you're recording someone like for a YouTube channel and they need to read from a script, this can actually save a whole lot of time because a lot of people know that one of the biggest problems in editing is just like you have to do the first pass, doing the second. It just takes time, and so yeah, there are different applications like Time Bolt and whatnot that like help with that, but Riverside is just like the best all around situation. So as you can see, I did the AI tool, the remove pauses, but it does this every time where it's like there's still these gaps, and the way I have to do it is I have to like drag over and just see that this doesn't go all the way down to here, and then I drag and click and hit delete, and then now that I see is this whole block, now it's like okay, like this actually cut, and it always does this too, where it's like not just this, but then that wasn't a perfect example because yeah, but let me see, because it'll do that, but then if you like that, it just allowed me to delete. That meant that there was like a little frame at the very beginning. It just almost like always does that. Then you just kind of look. I usually do like a pass through, just like look, and like that's probably gonna not be, and just eye it, and because sometimes it's just like I'm
Yeah, please. Yeah.
well, that's just me talking to him. So, um, well, like this is more so what I look out for, like things that should have been cut, or it does the same thing at the end too, where it's like you need to make sure you drag to the end. And so what I'll do is I'll let it do that preliminary cut. One of the first things I have to do is Magic Audio every time because it never makes it sound worse. At the very most, or at the very least, I'll put it at like something like really, really small, like 5%. It'll still make it sound better, like this. Let me say.
Yeah, I took her group workshop. It was over
This is pretty much with it off.
six, 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 6 week, 8 week.
So that's what it sounds. Well, this so on. Okay, it's because I'm hitting space bar. Is what it is. Okay, so this is what it sounds without it.
Where we met once a week in a small group. She
And
gets
then
homework assignments, listen to videos and stuff, and that's what we did.
usually this
And
is too high for me.
it was sort of she
I
she
like
referred
more
to it as
something
a
like
sales
this
training, but I
range
don't really think.
because it sounds more natural. It is you have to hear for it every single time though. Sometimes this sounds the best. Sometimes this actually sounds. Well, I mean, usually it's not this high, more like 70%. But you just gotta listen to it every time, preferably with headphones. I usually don't just because I don't know. I don't have time for that BS. Eye contact. I've heard people use this. I haven't used it before. Maybe that's useful. I have no idea. Um, and then auto generate B roll. That's something that's actually pretty useful because I make clips a lot. Um, but I guess it has to be less than 5 minutes. Okay. The tracks. That's just these are more so for when you have multiple people. But if you go into here, you can change the person's name. It's kind of nice because people say their name when they enter the studio, so it's easier to remember who the person is. Use the volume that they're recording at. EQ, interesting. And they change the stuff all the time. So like this color adjustment thing, I'm pretty sure is new. So that's actually really great because there was a certain times where I just need to go into Premiere Pro just to make it look especially professional. Oh yeah, so I'll start using this because I didn't know this was here. But there was certain times I didn't want to export from Riverside directly. Actually, most of the time, like if I do a short, I'm never gonna export from Riverside itself, just because its captions are pretty good for like if you're doing it for yourself, but if you're doing it for professional clients every single like and you want it to look the same every single time, as much as they have the like this is what is for, like branding is for like for if you have specific companies and you want to like have that the same thing every time. I mean they try to do that and like they even have the intro thing like or the caption set captions textile. So you can have like a late local in the corner. So they try to do that, but I think um, it's more so for me. If it's a professional client, I just want to export in Premiere just because I just want it to look refined. Or I want to make sure that the editing is perfect, and I'm much more comfortable in Premiere, and also Premiere is a lot more flexible. But yeah, um, that being said, if I'm making videos for myself, like for my own YouTube channel, I'm just trying to crank stuff out, then I'll just export it on like from Riverside like this, and they can do 4K. I usually do 4K. A certain time, it just doesn't really matter, as video people know. Um, but yeah, and then I'll just export it from here, and I'll just straight up upload it, if especially if I'm not using captions on the video. Or it's also the same thing with clients as well. If there's no caption on the video, then I'll just export from here. Um, I guess it's just saying I can't do this before since normalize the audio levels because Magic Audio is on. Reduce background noise can be useful certain times. Different resolutions. You can just export audio. That's useful for if you're making like transcripts or stuff. Or like, actually, it makes transcripts itself. So, but at certain times, it's useful in the process. And then this is what makes it like a game changer. You can export to they added Pro Tools, and very interesting. You can export to Premiere Pro, Final Cut. I'm a Premiere Pro guy, of course, and it really does do it well. I'll do it just to show you what it looks like. And I mean, you heard the genuine uh, surprise at Pro Tools. They're adding stuff all the time, so that's why it's like another reason I love Riverside. And so if I export that, then it's going to this is the export that takes the longest. I'm pretty sure. The just because they have to get the actual video file and stuff. If you export, I don't know if I want to do it just because I don't know if it interrupts it. But if I export like actually it should be fine. This 1080p thing, it's different. Instead, it kind of goes to like this exports page, and I'll show that later. Let's show it. Let's show it now. Let me just do the same thing over again, just but 4K this time, just to show you what it does. Oh, okay. Keep in mind. Okay, pause. So the download just finished for the Premiere timeline. So I can put in Anthony. Oh, I don't want to put his name. Well, I already did. Merrill. I don't even think that's spelled right. I could put it in videos, sure, whatever. If I save that, then unzip it. Then I can go into Premiere Pro, and this is already a project I have open. But this, let me see, the heck. So I have this. This is a photo it created. I go to export timeline, drag it here, put it there. Let's put in this project. And then, okay, if I go into this timeline, exactly what I have, oh, keep editing. Exactly what I have here is what I have here. And I actually like this a lot because if it's like really small, there'll be certain times it just takes out the sound. I think that's because the ums and ahs maybe. I think this is the smart function that I chose. And sometimes it mutes it, sometimes it doesn't, or sometimes it cuts it. But this actually makes it a lot easier to identify where the little, if I missed any like the little these little things I was trying to find. That can be really useful. So I wanted to show that. And is there anything else I should show about this? I mean, the files are right here. I think they put the magic audio file as well. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what the second. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But then if you do the exports, just go to export from here. I'm just gonna export one more time just to be annoying. Or just to be lazy more so. And then if you go to export, yeah, don't still exporting. Well, it'll export for a couple minutes, and then it'll do something that looks like this, and you can see the little
with
preview.
the new administration, my business just fell off a table.
And you can also translate. The translate does take some tokens, but maybe there's like a premium. I think that you can just buy more tokens maybe. And then they give you all these options. You can just straight up download it. I'm not gonna do that, but that's how you do it. Share it. You can go straight to YouTube, Instagram. I never like doing that. I like doing it straight up. And then you can copy the link to share it with a client as well. Share it with Mopo. I've never done that. And invite your editor. Goodness gracious, Riverside really does the most. I'm not gonna lie. See all. Goodness gracious. So I mean, I think Transistor and Castos those are for podcasts. So there's a way you could streamline this for video podcasts and audio podcasts. This is a platform meant for podcasts, but it doesn't make sense for me to do podcasts because I feel like it's a lot more profitable to work with businesses, and so that's why I do this. But yeah, you can also sometimes this interface is kind of hard to figure out, and certain times there'll be edits here, but there's sometimes there are more exports than edits, which is confusing. Well, no, I guess maybe that makes sense. Anyway, you can rename it, but you can also edit it here, and then that's when you can go just jump into the project. And this is a project that I had made where I like to make like 1 minute clips or like 1 minute, 2 minute clips Now I'm kind of going to like the 3 4 minute range, but or like 4 or 5 minute range for YouTube. But this is what I was doing at the time, and so you can see that not only did I like cut the stuff up, but I must have. So you can at any point you can I forget how to do it actually. 'Cause I rarely actually do it, but you can you can split it somehow. Oh, that's not how to do it. Add chat there. Split. Goodness gracious, I never really do it. Um, because I really work with the flow of the conversation usually. But if you split it, I guess with also with S, let me try that. All right, that works. Um, then you can grab it. All right, don't embarrass me now. Don't embarrass me now. Don't embarrass me now. Grab it and drag it. And just that's how you can rearrange things. Again, after a certain point, I kind of just like working in Premiere just because it's just like more native to me. But I mean, if you want to have it streamlined, I guess this works. So that's how you move things around. You can also just like shorten the scenes as they call it. And then I guess this was more like a clip or a chunk. When they say scenes, that's because if you double click, you can add a scene, and from there it's almost like kind of like a cut, I guess. But you can change the layout to like that, and so then when you play it
Difficult
through,
assignment that they were
that's when it
looking.
switches to that, and then you add another scene. And I really don't really edit it this way, just because if it's more complicated, again, I just go to Premiere. Um,
And I think it
but I'm sure there's certain use cases. Um, and then I guess the chapters or things are more so for like if you're trying to make something for YouTube and you want it to be easily like describe or like upload or whatever. That's not really a feature that I use, but I mean it's there. There's jump forward and jump back. I guess it's J and L. You can also probably change the keyboard cutout. I mean the shortcuts probably, but hey, bruh, it's never that deep. Just some other things with the interface, expand tracks. That's more so like for looking at the audio, like you can see here. Or there's different layouts that you can do like this. I just like to keep it simple, like their default. This is how you speed up and slow down the playback speed. They used to not have this, so I'm really glad that they added it. Hide timeline, of course. If you want to change the framing and scaling, that's actually one of my favorite things about Riverside. I think it's just really streamlined, but it's last time. I mean, again, I stopped really heavily editing on this platform, but my thing was that you could have something like this, but then it would apply it. It would apply it to other certain like scenes, but not all of them. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like say you have two people, like you have two tracks here, like it would make that change for every single like say there was like I don't know, I'm trying bear with me. Say there was like two tracks and in one of them the dude just looked like off like this. But then later on in the video, he like moves his chair over here. Like Riverside at the time was really bad at like uh, really adapting or like letting you adjust to that. But maybe that's fixed now. Maybe that was a useless rant. Maybe that wasn't that helpful. This is how you zoom in, zoom out, of course. Again, I just love the streamline of like I guess that's the right word of this like cropping. It's very simple. Certain times this is how you do like the fit versus fill. Certain times it really actually is kind of awkward, but a lot of times it's actually really great. Um, Interesting. Again, this is another thing that they just added or recently added.
you know what?
So I guess that's useful. But I was more so trying to show different layouts. It's honestly more relevant when you're screen sharing or when you're like having multiple people, or like screen sharing, or having multiple people. Background is it's just like if you want to have a background color or something like that, or background image. I never really do. And then design. Okay, I never really do that either, but it's like the corners and stuff and adding spacing. Yeah, I don't know why someone would do that. Well, teach his own. Um, Other things about the interface, because I showed the AI tools. Um, but if you want to do like, I guess the silence is already cut out. But let me undo that. Revert to original. Let me so I can. Well, let me just say. So this is an example of what a pause is. I can tell you it's zero point 0.8 seconds. Or let me just restore this. Um, like this is more like I guess he might have repeated or he might have repeated himself or he might have said like a filler word. So that's what that's for.
And you don't have to.
Yeah, he repeated himself in the filler word. But it works like the whole what word text or text to edit thing that people are moving towards. Where versus like when I use Premiere, I really am trained to like cut it like with the like how I'm trained to cut it. Versus Riverside, I more so really start with the words or do exclusively the words when I'm like looking through, and then afterwards I might like tweak the stuff. I think the reason I like that is because I'm as an editor I'm very used to Premiere, so it's very hard for me to even if I like transcribe it and then look into like the text um, window or whatever. It's still more steps. I have to go through things versus when I go to Riverside, it's automatically what I'm thinking about. Like the two dots mean. Oh, sorry. To add on, go back to what I was saying. I feel like I was all over the place a little bit there. So this pause must be longer. There's two dots. Actually, it might be this one. So let me see. I can just see when I drag it, it selects it, and like there's a lot of features that just make Riverside really intuitive. And so I think if you were an editor like or a video person, I think it would be easier to learn on it too. But like for many reasons, people who already know video they're just built to excel on this. And I will say though one thing like usually I go back and like tweaks like stuff like this for example like cut that out or sometimes
That helps.
Sometimes I'd like tweak a little bit like that like oh maybe this and that's when it gets to the editor's ear of like what actually sounds right.
That helps a lot. It's not needing to
I wasn't actually editing to make it sound good. I was just showing what I do. But all in all, like Riverside has made editing so much faster, especially when I've gotten used to it. To the point where it's like I never really, if I work with a client, I never um, do just Premiere. I always upload it to Riverside, and then go from there. I mean, if I'm making like an event video, then that's different. But I don't really do those anymore. Like I was saying, it automatically transcribes from the jump, so you're trained to work with the text. And I will say though, the reason I don't always love exporting, or I don't like using exporting from. I don't like exporting from Riverside if it's captions in the video because it just does this weird thing where if you repeat yourself certain times, um, then it'll write the second time, but not the first time, or sometimes it does the opposite. Basically, it just makes it so that you can't really accurately caption it. I could explain like the like actually technically how it works and why it's difficult, but it's just important to know if you're doing this for businesses, like don't export from uh Riverside for if you're doing captions, and yeah, you'll figure out why that is for yourself. But and it's sad because they do actually do a pretty good job of making interactive captions, but a problem is more so that there'll be certain times where the captions will be inaccurate looking and you won't be able to fix them. Also, with timing is also a problem. So there's a lot of different things. And trust me, I do use it certain times, especially if it's like my own videos and I don't really care about um, the things being super accurate. Um, then again, maybe that's outdated information I'm saying about this captioning stuff. But if you want to use captions, they are there. I just don't recommend them. Other things, amazing, amazing is their music library. It's not like as great as Epidemic Sound or something like that. But keep in mind, this is like an all-in-one platform at this point. So if you have this in Premiere Pro, it's like you really could just run a business off of that. I mean, that's what I do. But I mean, yeah. So I think it's really worth $25 or $30, whatever. I pay 44 because I do the live streaming as well. But yeah. So anyway, you can upload your own songs, or they got these collections, or they got songs. I really don't experiment that much. I just kind of find something that's good enough. I mean, because businesses are pretty simple. There's music there, uploads if you want to upload. I upload stuff a lot just because I like to get it from the internet, or like stock footage, whatever. But even if I record more stuff, okay, I don't actually want to do that. Hold up, boy. But that would have brought you to the record screen, like this like it would have brought you into the studio. I don't. That would have taken too long. And then images as well, because this is less than 5 minutes. I can auto generate B-roll, and so let's see what that does. Or you can just search up images. So he was a photographer, so I could put photographer. I feel like the suggestions usually aren't really that good, but let's do that. Click it. It adds it there. And the other main reason I don't really edit complicated stuff in Riverside is because it just can be. I'm just more used to Premiere. In certain ways, it is just kind of awkward, like Premiere stuff. And so you can do that, or you can just make it fill. You can replace it with something else. You can make it a video. Okay, I'm not trying to use a credit. I feel like I could probably just do an animation and just zoom in. Wouldn't it be the same? Oh, no, that's bring it in. So, okay, that's interesting. Oh man. Okay, got you. That's actually pretty cool. It's like AI videos. See, I'm telling you, they change adding things all the time. I can't even. I'm surprised I have these things. You can do a mask. Let me see. I never really used that, quite honestly. But to each his own. I don't even know how to undo it, to be honest with you. Maybe I can. All right. And just undo. And then opacity, of course, trash it. Or then there's like the send backwards and forwards. Because one thing that's kind of tricky, I don't even think they automated. They didn't even do B-roll for my boy. That was their B-roll. This is that thing at the end. All right. Usually they just put a little bit throughout, but whatever. Um,
And
so this is
I just heard this funny.
basic B-roll they made. And better than nothing. I think it's free credit. There it's like doesn't cost the credit. But they would make stuff like that, and then but if you drag it over here, it's like it's not really clear what takes priority. Like that's on the top right now, but if I put that on top, that doesn't matter. What matters is sending it backwards or forwards. So I guess it's just important to know that. But as a Premiere Pro editor, I'm trained to think that this layers for a reason. So excuse me, buddy boy. Um, Also, in case I didn't make that clear before, you can just select um, the words themselves and just cut them like that anytime you want. But sometimes, no, I guess it didn't leave any. Like sometimes it leaves like that big old gap, like for example. And I apologize. This is a little bit all over the place. I didn't eat breakfast today. That's no excuse, Sal. That's no excuse. Let's see. Let's see what the picture is. Other things. Let's go to imagery. It loves Riverside. It loves asking you for feedback, man. It really loves that. Videos. You got stock videos. That's what makes it really. It's like clutch. It's clutch. You can generate your AI B-roll, but it takes credit. Interesting. Yeah, it's change. It's adding things every day. I know I keep saying that, but damn. And then you can also add text if you want to. It's separate from captions. Again, I'm more used to Premiere Pro, so if I'm doing something complicated, then I'm using Premiere. But again, if you want to, do what you want, my boy. Other things to say about the interface. Um, Record hasn't really been that useful just because I'm working with clients, so why would I need to re-record? But if I'm by myself, maybe that makes sense. Oh, it would make sense. Only other things I would say is a co-creator, something I never really use just because it seems like it does the same thing. But I don't know, so I can't really give feedback on that. Personalized. Interesting. Okay. See, this is something I don't know. It's not that I don't use. I use Riverside all the time. It's just I don't even realize how much they change things. If you want to switch from this clip to a different clip that you edited, then you can do that. The way I made this clip was essentially I selected this like out of the 8-minute video or longer video. I selected a thing like that, like that. I could have just done this. And oh, interesting. What did I do? Create a new edit. You can also comment. Interesting. Yeah, keep in mind you also copy, cut, keep only this, duplicate it. But I'm going to create a new edit, and from there it makes a whole new thing. I can do like click on or like edit off of. And then up here, this is where you can rename things. Here, similar. But this is where you change the orientation. And so if you're a person who does social media for businesses, trust me, this is clutch. Like very, very, very. And other things, yeah. There's so many features to get into. But you can blur the background. So slight blur. I like slight blur, but I don't use it very often. There's full blur, and there's also, which is more blurry, and there's also transparent. I've never used that before actually, but seems like might be useful. It's taking a little bit to figure out that blur though. So in the meantime, other things you can do, hide or well, I guess I can't hide that. Okay, I guess I'm not allowed. Hide. I can also crop, which I'm pretty sure is just double clicking. Anyway, so we've seen that before. You can mirror. I guess just one way, and then I guess that takes you to the tracks thing that we saw before. But I'm really trying to show the blur. You might just have to imagine it. You might just have to use your imagination. Transparent would be interesting. I gotta try that out. But yeah, I'll just leave that to your imagination. But it's pretty good at doing this. Um, but another use case for Premiere over this would be Premiere can be better at like tracking the person and moving it back and forth, and that is a lot better for shorts. So usually I just export it to the timeline like I did before. Is there any other large things? So this way you can show the comments or not. Downloading the transcript I use for because I upload stuff to YouTube, Instagram, X, like Facebook for clients. I'll download the transcript every time and feed that rather than the audio. And if you, because that's a lot better. Or just copy it and put it into ChatGPT at certain times. Just whatever is easier. Um, Copying the chapters list is just useful for when I'm making the chapters on YouTube. So I don't know if that's the use case for everybody. You can have AI voice. I have no idea how good it is at in a situation like this where I just record the person one time. But the one where it's based off of my like my own voice, that is really it's pretty good. It got me pretty good, and it even speaks fast like me, so that's pretty funny. Empty section, it really does make an empty section. I have no idea what that's even for though, so don't ask me, bruh. We can add other things here. Add recordings, interesting. So you can add other videos you've done. See, this is like you. How many times have you had what is it, a tutorial by someone who doesn't even know half the features? This is a new experience for you. So that's there. You can search for words like deserve. Search for words. That's useful. Video dub was like, yeah, so if someone makes misspeaks, I imagine that takes a credit. So I'm not gonna do that. Correct. That's if you that's really if you use captions. So I never really do that. But he didn't say deserve. He said reserve, and correct that, right? And then so add things, trash. I can mute this word if I want to, and then comment. Yeah, add a comment. This guy is great. I'm sure I could add somebody on the team. And so I'm sure this would be pretty useful for working internally or working with clients. So I definitely recommend that. It's kind of like what is it, Frame.io? Didn't realize that. Because you can send these so you can just share these with clients. So is it like the share preview, so you can email them or copy the link. I'm trying to see if there's anything else in the interface, and there probably is. Something I'm forgetting. I would also, so this is where the comment shows up, and when you do the find fluff, it probably won't find anything, but it'll look like this too. It'll be a little comment on the side, and then you can like click on that to see what it's suggesting, and you can decline. Sometimes I do decline it, so but usually it knows what it's talking about. And then I think we're good here. Want to double check? Double check. Yes. Let's move on. So instead of going to a different, like these are all my shorts I made. So from a like 30-minute recording, I can make like 6, 7 shorts. Usually I can make more, or I can make a decent amount, and I just don't make that many just because it just becomes um, I don't know, not unsustainable, but people. It's not even that people only want so many shorts. It's just like, and it's not even that the quality is bad because the whole process of what I do is I'm on the other end of this and I'm like talking to the person, and so they feel really natural. They feel really comfortable. So there's not a lot of bad takes, if any. There's not. They already know what they're talking about, so they sound like a professional. They say it coherently compared to if they wrote a script and had practice. So I can easily make a lot of shorts, and honestly, that's the more valuable thing of what I do, like the comfort level. Um, at the same time, sometimes I'm like, bruh, they only ask for. Well, yeah, they only order 5 at a time, so that actually does make sense. That's the reason. I should have thought about that. And so it does just manage episodes of the whole thing because it says episodes because it's made a platform made for podcasts, and you can even have it set to what it automatically does. And this is actually pretty useful when you're making podcasts. I just don't make podcasts anymore. Um, And for example, I mean, yeah, this is just kind of stuff you've seen before. Segments. I didn't realize there were magic segments now. And you can even have a custom workflow. Got you. Magic segments is more so what I usually do for YouTube. Like I'll record someone for 30, 45 minutes and make some like 5 minute chunks out of it. So that's what I would do for this. And what I love more than anything is that it lets you choose the duration. Like that's what makes it perfect. It doesn't make perfect clips. You have to still have to look through them. But I mean, as an editor, you know how much time that saves. And again, when people, this is hooks. I've never really used this before, so I won't say anything about it. The magic clips is like the shorts, and the shorts aren't amazing either. They're better than any other shorts platform I've seen, but again, I don't buy the whole idea that you can just put in like a video and it shoots out a good short. It has this rating system. I don't really know how accurate it is. I've never really noticed that much of a difference. Sometimes these are the worst ones. Sometimes these are the best ones, in my opinion. But what I love is that I can go in and edit it, and I can give like feedback as well. I'm sure that that helps. Um, but a lot of the time, they'll like choose a block like this, and I'll listen to it, and I'll be like,
issues, if you will, our own.
like see that how they just started in the middle of a sentence, but or like a topic. But if I go back a little bit, oh okay, I'm tripping. If I go back a little bit, like he might be saying something that actually was like a coherent thought together, and then I'll just like listen to it,
Thing. It is
and then
truly
I just cut down everything that I don't need, and that is like a huge time saver for um, clips. Like if you're making shorts, definitely do that. Especially because you can again you can reshape it very easily, and yeah, it's just very clutch for that. And so if I go back out here, this is where all the magic clips are. Again, you have to work with it, but it's kind of a pretty good shortcut. This is where all the recordings are, and if you had more tracks, like more participants, then um, you could do export all just here, or this is where the transcript is, for example. You can also just copy. Um, and then going here again, you can AI translate, which I've done once, but it takes credit. And you can also move to a different project. Um, other thing I'll say is that you do have to like hit the button for creating the magic clips and episodes usually. Not you don't have to, but like they make them in batches almost. I think they make some automatically every time, but you also have to ask it for more. And I think you can only do a certain amount every couple hours or something. But I never really hit a limit, so it's never really a problem. So you can see I've recorded with different people. Every time, if it's the same person, I'll just do a new project. But I mean, maybe it'd be president. Yeah, I just do a new project. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. It gives you the dates, all that different stuff, the amount of edits, and so that can be useful. Um, Keep in mind, like, oh my goodness, lighting is very important. So you see how the lighting isn't best here, isn't necessarily the best here, but it's a little bit better. It is okay. This is he was using a phone, so that actually is kind of better. This is just bad lighting. This is good lighting, but still the this is like contrast or something. This is really good lighting. This is pretty good lighting. You need to make sure that they're like just in a good natural light really is the best, and so there's certain things that apply to remote videography that's different from in-person videography, and I mean obviously the light works the same, but in terms of like in-person videography, you're always going to be on set, and you're always going to have like the ability to change where the lights are, or like walk the person through it if they're not a light expert, which they're not going to be, but instead of that, I have to like send the person some tips beforehand, which I usually don't read. I don't think, but it's good to save time if you can. And but I tell them to what is it? I tell them to be near a window and be front lit. She's actually backlit, but it doesn't look bad. I think because she just had a really good light source at the beginning at the front. Um, so I'll tell them to be in a quiet place, even though the Magic Audio is pretty good at taking it out, but still. I just give them a little list with beforehand, which is pretty much my upsell for this course, just to be straightforward. Um, and I gave them like I pretty much have a set structure of handouts or like emails, follow ups um, that I have for the client on the client's end, and then internally I have all these checklists that make my thing a system because I was having the same problem in remote videography that I was having in in-person videography. Like I would like if I would have all these checklists or if I didn't stick to my checklist and my systems, I'd always forget one thing or like have to improvise or whatever. And it just got to a point where that was just really annoying. And then when I switched to remote videography, it was the same thing because whereas before the things are unexpected things could be unexpected, but they're all really determined by me and whether I forget something or remember something or not. But this, what like, there's things that the client could forget, in because I'm not there. Like I can't really fix it, or they might I don't know. I might notice something at the beginning of the recording, and it's not like I can just like go in and change it like I would in person. Uh, Pretty much what I'm just getting at is it's there's problems with being an in-person videographer that remote videography solves, but it comes with like new and different problems. That being said, I still feel like remote videography is a lot easier and it has better problems, but it's just a matter of learning those problems, and that's more so being able to control the conversation like socially. Like you have to be able to get the content out of the person and like do mm-hms and no, not ahas, but mm-hmm and yeah, like all the time, or not all the time. You get what I'm saying. You need to be like responsive and like give make the person feel like they're listening, and that's like a huge thing. By the way, that this huge like, and that's like a huge thing that's different. By the way, about remote videography, like whereas in person you can't like you nod, of course, you try to be like non-verbally affirmative, but it's not the same as like someone uh hearing you say like yeah, oh yeah, and you can do that because it's separate tracks, so it really it's really perfect. um I'm gonna be honest, I lost my train of thought just a little bit, but I know I was talking about lighting and I know I was talking about preparing people, so I'm gonna do a shameless plug because the whole point of this course was to do an upsell from freeness, to be clear. Um, but I'm selling a $500 course. Well, it's $500 right now. The price is gonna go up very soon. Oh my goodness, why my voice cracked when I said the price is gonna go up? I think I'm lying. Sorry, let me get to the point. Instead of giving you the instructions for Riverside, which is what these videos are for, like I'm gonna like, tell you all that for free. What I am selling is the structures or like the systems, the checklists, the email templates to send to to send to clients beforehand, so that you don't have to learn any of the actual systems part. Everything um, in terms of technical stuff you can learn through these free videos, and everything in terms of processes you can like just buy through the course. But I mean, to be honest, I honestly think the free course is probably going to be more useful just because it opens up a new like avenue of because it opened up like a new avenue, like particularly a downsell, like as a new income stream. But at the same time, I don't know. I still had the same abilities in terms of remote videography before, but because I didn't have systems, I just wasn't reliable and like consistent. and that really hurt my branding. Because I knew the same thing I knew at this point. I kind of really knew at this point. I just didn't really remember. Goodness gracious! Yeah, yeah. Why am I just looking so unflattering? I'm, I'm, I'm. I look a lot better than that in person. Trust me. Um, but yeah. Long story short, that's my upsell. So if you're a video production company that already has employees, definitely check that out on my website. That's in the description. Now getting back to this. Here's a list view. I don't really care about that. And here's how you make a new project. From there you can do AI voice, edit. Come on now. Let me think. Upload. This is like for when I'm like just I've already made a video and then I just put it here. And it uploads pretty quickly actually. And I do that if I want to use the AI cutting and the AI cutting, the AI voice, and then sometimes I put it back into Premiere. I mean, we put it into Premiere for the first time, but yeah, Riverside has really allowed me to streamline things, so I use it as default. So then you have scheduling. I never really schedule sessions with clients, but you can if you want to. You can do like you invite people via email. And the nice thing is the audience can just watch, or like there's a chat thing, which I don't think people really use. But I mean, maybe if you do stuff live, maybe well yeah, that's when you would use it. Um, but that's one thing they can do. Guest is someone who's actually being recorded, and then a producer. A producer is usually what I am when I'm recording with business owners, because from there, like they can see you, but your content won't be recorded, and I think that helps with bandwidth as well, because regardless, it's gonna record the same quality, like the same video quality, regardless of the internet connection. But there will be certain times where, especially if you're shooting in 4K, that you'll lose connection if you're trying to make it Riverside do too much. So it's better to be producer one, and then also just have a good, strong connection if you can. But yeah, it's trying to give me Riverside 2025 rewind. Who do you think you are, buddy? Who do you think you are? So yeah, you can see I got all these studios that I've shown before. And the projects. Schedule. That's pretty much it. Hosting is for like hosting for podcasts. So I don't really use this. But I could if I wanted to. I don't I'm not gonna make you guys see my YouTube rewind. And that's pretty much it. You got the settings in here. Billing, that's where I pay one time every time. Yep. Studios. Oh, that's one thing you should talk. I should talk about. So you can name the studio. You can have a waiting room. Um, and then, oh, interesting. You got caption languages. That's gonna be useful in the future. I'm speaking too fast. No, no rewind. Um, see, like studio reactions. That's different. But what I was looking for was this is how you get into the recording sessions. You can do an audio only version. Never done that. No reduction, auto volume control. But this is why I change certain times. I usually shoot up to 4K. They recommend this. Who wants to shoot in 720? I mean, yes, if you have good lighting, it's totally fine. And a lot of cameras that you're going to be working with, like their laptops, they're going to be 720. But you should do this as much as possible and switch it to 4K. And you have to do this for every single studio. So make sure that if you make a new studio, then do that. You can do frame rate. Oh, it's not even let me change it. Countdown timer. I never have that on, because if you're recording with a client, why do you want it to count down from 5? Like, it's just going to make them feel awkward. Pausing uploads is useful, because if the connection is really bad, then like that really helps because you're it's downloading or uploading at the same time that you're recording, so that's why you get like what is it called? Like that's why you break up sometimes, and so it can be useful to pause upload, but I mean that would be pretty awkward. It wouldn't be super awkward for a business client, but it's like you should probably just have better internet, buddy. Automatically start recording. I never really do that, but I'm sure there's some use case. Team members, that's something they've added. It requires a paid add-on. Goodness gracious, how much money do you want? And then just integrations. Yeah, get integrated. Export notification. You can turn it on and off, and then yeah, buddy. And then plan and billing. What a different plan. So Riverside for businesses. Yeah, interesting. Fun fact: I used to work for these people. All right. So I have Pro, which is what I currently have. I guess it's the most basic. All right, buddy. Um, I could have sworn I had live, but I guess not. I switched it. Um, you can live stream it up to 1080p. Keep in mind, it is you need to connect it to Ethernet if you're gonna live stream like that. Um, the afterwards it will be crisp, clear, but the streaming won't necessarily be that high quality. Um, and so if you're doing podcasts, which you, yeah, if you're doing podcasts, it'd be good to upload that. Actually, why am I saying podcast? I'm doing video production companies. All right, take that out. OmniChat is cool because um, OmniChat is cool because if you're on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, you can see all their comments. If they're on Instagram, they can only see people from Instagram's comments, or Facebook only from Facebook. Like they can only see that one. But you'll be able to see each one and like interact with them. You can put them on the screen, like the thing, the what's it, the comment on screen. Honestly, for that you need like a producer to run your podcast. But yeah, you can have people like come into the podcast and stuff, do lower thirds or call-ins. I guess I don't know what backstage. Oh, this is. I think this is just what the producer does. And you also do like webinars, have it in business level. I don't even have a pricing for that. Oh, like so. Anyway, there's different levels, but honestly, all you really need is Pro, is because there is so much you can do. Well, everything you need is in Pro, and live is just if you have a business that live streams. So you probably don't really need that. Top up, you can top up credits. You get some certain ones every month, and kind of support has been somewhat helpful or like rather helpful for me in the past. Because I think one time like I couldn't get this person's footage, and it was saying it wouldn't upload, even though I'm pretty sure it did upload, and they helped me out. I'm pretty sure, but it did take a while. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll probably do more in depth in like videos in the future, but that's all I've got for you now, buddy. Um, if you want to get a Riverside uh, subscription, which you definitely should because it's a game changer, then definitely click my link in the description. Not because it'll save you, I mean it will save you money. Not because it'll save you money, but because it'll help me. And I'm poor, buddy. I need to pay my bills. So click that link, buddy. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this, if you're rocking with your boy, then go ahead and buy that upsell. That $500, that 5 bands. Well, starting price. It's probably much more expensive by the time you watch this video. But for the next 2 days, it's $500. Um, and yeah, how at your boy in the description. Please, peace and blessings.